In 1997, during Netanyahu's first term as prime minister, he met with Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, who was one of the most influential Sephardic religious leaders of the 20th century. Kaduri died in 2006 at the age of 106. Rabbi Kaduri spoke a long message into the politician's ear. Rabbi Shmuel Shmuley, who was one of the Rabbi Kaduri's followers, said that Kaduri had always said that Netanyahu would be in office for a very long time and that the Messiah would come after that. Before he died, Kaduri said that the Jewish Messiah would be coming soon and that he had met him a year before. So who's the Jewish Messiah and when will he come? Let's find out. Hello friends, welcome back to our channel, The Unknown Facts. In today's video, let's find out what did Netanyahu say about the Jewish Messiah. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the amazing mysteries of science. After a defeat of 16 months' duration, Benjamin Netanyahu, who served as Prime Minister of Israel in the past, has returned to his previous position. Many people are curious about what this indicates and what causes something like this to take place. Even though their answers are ambiguous, the Israel of the old Jewish rabbis appear to have the answers. Some people have claimed that his return is a precursor to the coming of the Messiah. Some people have said that he is the two-stage Messiah, and Mashiach ben Yosef and the Mashiach David. If you think that's strange, you should know that some Jewish rabbis say he already meets with the Messiah. In fact, this was discussed as far back as the 29th of September in 2002. This is significant because the fulfillment of the prophecy regarding the coming of the Antichrist will depend on it happening. Because the interaction makes it clear to us that this particular Messiah is not Jesus, the Son of God, about whom the Bible informs us that we should anticipate the second coming of the Messiah. In an article that was written prior to Netanyahu's re-election, the words of two prominent and sage Jewish rabbis of our time, Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Menachem Chenerson, were repeated when both rabbis prophesied decades ago that Benjamin Netanyahu would be re-elected and that he would be the last prime minister of Israel until the Messiah comes. Since it was proclaimed, it has evolved into the new hope of the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community, and many people continue to believe it with all of their hearts. As of the last round of elections in Israel, which took place on November 1, 2022, things were still looking up for Netanyahu, showing that Israelites could even win it. In addition to this, there is a video clip that shows a well-known Jewish rabbi advising Netanyahu to take additional actions in order to expedite the ascension of the Messiah, as it is written in the Bible, as if some individuals within the nation desire it. In addition to this, two additional things connected Netanyahu to the arrival of the Jewish Messiah. Jesus Christ is not to blame in any way, shape, or form. How all of the requirements of the Old Testament's laws and prophets were met by Jesus Christ in such a way that no one should have had any reason to doubt who he claimed to be, and instead should have looked elsewhere for a new Messiah. An article published on November 19, 2018, makes reference to Netanyahu being in possession of the Messiah's keys. Let's read a paragraph from the article to satisfy your curiosity about what it says. It really pains me as a friend, as a brother, as a close friend, to see how many people constantly spill Netanyahu's blood, but I have a surprise for them. He is going to stand tall on God's side. He has a promise from the rabbi, and he is going to make it through this. We have seen it happen up until now, and that is how it is going to be as well. He will make it through this, and we will continue, and I hope we will be able to hand his keys over to Mashiach the Messiah, and will have the complete and true redemption. If you have any lingering doubts about this, there is another article published in 2018 that you can read that supports it, and says that Netanyahu will hand the scepter over to the Messiah, also known as the Son of David, or, as it is more commonly known, the Jewish Messiah. It is meant to make the person in question feel good, but we believe that this is not the case. This is more of a reference to the Antichrist. Even the Bible makes mention of the fact that it is unlikely that the Antichrist will be a direct opposite of the real Christ, but rather a perfect imitator who will later lead the world astray. In addition to this, there is a prophecy that states someone who possesses the keys will usher him into the position of power. This seems to have some kind of embodiment. Mashiach ben Yosef is the name given to the first stage, which is a normal practical process that includes the gathering of Israelites who have been exiled and the building up of the land of Israel, whereas at the same time, the second stage is more supernatural and explains that part of the Bible that people often talk about. The Davidic dynasty was reestablished, and the construction of the third temple was finally finished. It is also written in the Shemuel that at some point in the future, Jonathan will become the reincarnation of Mashiach ben Yosef Messiah from the house of Joseph. However, in the end days, he will serve as the second to Mashiach David from the house of David, and he will be a reincarnation of David. When that time comes, he will make good on his promise to serve as David's deputy commander. During this time, there will be two distinct factions operating within Mashiach ben Yosef. Rabbi Shirdi has attested to this fact by stating that this is a leader in the material world, and this, as we have seen, is exactly what Netanyahu is doing right now, so there's no question about it. As you can see in their traditions, they have made up a lot of messiahs that have nothing to do with the Bible or the Torah. The most remarkable thing, however, is the fact that everything was prophesied in the Bible long before Netanyahu was even a speck on the political landscape. This coincides with the arrival of Jesus on earth and the testimony that he gives in Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 and 6, in which he claimed he had been dispatched to find the lost sheep of Israel. We now know that the house did not accept Jesus and even put him to death on a cross. However, this did not happen before God extended his grace to the Gentiles. The majority of the New Testament is devoted to discussing this topic. In the same way, the Antichrist will appear, and he will direct his attention to Israel's dispersed sheep. Since Jesus has come into the world, the people who continue to disapprove of Jesus and do not acknowledge his existence are the lost sheep of Israel. The Antichrist will automatically appeal to them, as the Bible says, and they will be his followers. In John chapter 5, verse 43, it is Jesus himself who reveals this information. I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me if another comes in his own name. The Messiah that the Jews are anticipating is actually the Antichrist. Some of the characteristics of the Antichrist that were mentioned in the Bible were recounted again in the article. These characteristics include that he will be a direct descendant of the house of King David of Judah, and that he will not only be the leader, but the greatest political leader that the world has ever seen. He will supervise the rebuilding of the third temple, that he will restore the Sanhedrin, and that he will rally the house of Israel together. The passage then goes on to stress that the Antichrist must be a Jew, and a descendant of David. Apostle Paul is talking about the Antichrist. The same thing is said in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. The son of tradition, who is the Antichrist, will sit in the temple claiming to be God, and he will use that to lead the people astray. This final viewpoint is expressed by Rabbi Mario Mourinho, who is also the founder of the Messianic Jewish Shema Israel congregation. However, the Antichrist may not be any of these individuals. He can fulfill the role of the Mahdi of Islam, be a political figure, or anything similar. It's even possible that he's an extraterrestrial from another world intending to take over Earth. However, the trend that is currently occurring in Israel seems to suggest that none of these are likely to occur. From all we know about the Bible, especially the fact that it talks to the Jewish people the most, and the mass search for the Messiah by both the average Israelite and the ultra-religious ones in Israel nowadays, it is very hard to deny that the Antichrist will come from this part of the world. Regarding the Messiahship of Jesus, it was said that he came from the house of King David, and it can be proven that he did so through his birth. Significantly, he was born in Bethlehem, which is located in Judea. This was one of the many ways that God, in his mercy, was pointing to the impending arrival of the Messiah. But the more traditional Jews who lived during this time, and after it, questioned whether or not he was the Messiah. They probably anticipated that he would be born a king or in any other location other than a rural one, and that there would be a sign on him that would declare his messiahship in an unequivocal manner. The second significant thing that he would do is construct a brand new temple. Although it was reasonable to make that assumption, what is meant here is the actual city of Jerusalem, as illustrated by the Pharisees' argument. However, this is not the way that God intended for it to be carried out. It was merely a figure of speech for our physical bodies. This is established by the apostolic Paul, and now we come to the one that the Jews find the most objectionable. It has been said that the Jews desired a Messiah who would win the wars of conquest on their behalf and become world ruler. But as we discussed earlier, the purpose of Jesus' mission was more spiritual than it was physical. As it is written in Hebrews, he came to put an end to the one who holds the power of death, and to win the victory over death for all of humanity, both of which he accomplished. Because these things cannot be known, Jesus is considered to be the final Messiah. It is unclear whether Netanyahu is the Antichrist. However, one thing cannot be questioned. Israel has a widespread longing for a Messiah, but but Christians believe that figure cannot be Jesus. So what do you guys think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.